and we are
Be Adventure Partners.
Welcome. Today we are going to answer your questions live about life, relationships, and building online business.
Super exciting. So today, our channel, Be Adventure Partners, is all about connecting the dots for you, helping you bridge that gap of information so you're able to escape the box that society has unjustly put you in. How exciting is that?
Super exciting.
Welcome. We've got the chat rocking and rolling. So feel free to leave comments, leave questions that you may have about your life, about relationship, life in general, really. And then also business online. How's the audio sounding?
Sounding good.
Awesome.
Sounding good.
Which means that we're on a rocking and rolling time.
Woo!
So over this past week, we've had quite a few questions come across from Facebook and then also the YouTube channel and also on the blog. And so we wanted to jump and answer those questions here live first. But if you have questions as we're going, feel free to leave them in the chat because we want to be able to answer your questions as well.
That's right. So we've got some fun questions. We've got some more serious questions. It's going to be a good variety pack today. So let's start with an easy one. The first one is, what is there to protect the laptop on the beach? So I think that this is from Jarg7. I think that he's asking how we protect our laptop on the beach.
That is true. Yeah. So if you don't know, we have been traveling full time since April of 2017, which is pretty exciting. So that's, what is it? July right now. So June, July. So April, May, June, July. What is that? About 15 months or so?
Something like that.
About 15 months we've been traveling, and one of our favorite destinations is the beach. It is so much fun to go and, play in the crashing waves and catch some rays and stuff. But one of the big problems that we found is that a lot of entrepreneurs who are location independent, who maybe have a drop ship store, or maybe they have a service-based business or offer a product or service of some kind online, who do like to go to the beach, one of the things that we've noticed is that they take pictures saying, oh my gosh, love working on the beach. Well, we were thinking about, maybe we need to dispel this myth about whether or not it's actually a good idea to work on the beach. And we actually failed that myth. Why is that?
Well, the beach is not the most friendly place to take a laptop.
Nope.
Think about this. On a breezy day on the beach, your blanket is like flailing around, right? Well, imagine sand flying around and getting stuck in your laptop. Like most of the time, we don't even take our phone out unless it's to take like a few quick snapshots on the beach because sand just really doesn't mix well with technology. So I think that let's bust this myth here and just consider a few things. You're probably not going to take your laptop on the beach because it's going to overheat and it's just not good conditions. But I think when people say that they're working on the beach, what they're actually meaning is they're hanging out in like a cool cafe that has Wi-Fi and they're looking on the beach, and then maybe they take some breaks or something to go lay in the sand.
Yeah. So all of the pictures of you see people sitting on towels at the water's edge with their laptop is not really the best idea also, especially if you're a serious online business owner, because the moisture in the salty air does this thing called corrosion and it destroys your technology. It destroys your laptop. It makes your keys stop working. It prevents the screen from working. You can barely see the screen most of the time because it's so bright out there. So protect your equipment. If you want to, go take a picture on the beach with your laptop, know that the rest of us who have actually done that know that it's hilarious and you're probably not really getting work done, or you really don't care for the equipment that you've invested in.
Yeah, it's more like in and out, take a photo, get out of there. Okay, so next question. How could building a business online help me create more freedom in my life? That's from Jerry.
That is a pretty cool question.
That's a good question.
Think about where you want to be in life. Think about your location. Think about the relationships that you want to have, either romantic, or business relationships or acquaintances and stuff. But how do you create more freedom in your life? If you write out a list right now of what your life is like, and think about what has gotten you there to this point, and write that out, then you're going to see that it is what you've done up until this point that's created this particular type of life that you may not like. Maybe you've got to work too much and you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to go travel as much. How do these two, go and travel that much? Well, it's the decisions that you make along the way. And so one of the things that we found that's pretty cool to create the freedom that you want. Freedom is an interesting thing in that different people have a different idea about what freedom means to them. Freedom may be, not having to work overtime. Yeah. Freedom may be being able to spend more time with the one you love. Freedom may be going traveling and not having to worry about going to clock in. So write down and define what the freedom means to you so that you've got a goal that you can reach for, and that you can work backwards from. What we found is that creating a simple business online would give us the freedom that we wanted to be able to go travel, to be able to go, and do the things that we wanted to do in life. Yeah, that's for sure. I think that a nice place to start, like Brian said, start journaling it out, start writing it down. What does freedom look like for you? And then if you really want to take it to the next step, start crunching some numbers, start thinking, okay, well, what would I have to earn to start living that life? Because, something that we learned pretty fast once we started doing the math was you don't need to be a millionaire to support yourself if you wanted to travel full time. Yeah. You don't need to, make $100,000 a month just to start traveling all over the world, with your online business. So that's something we actually go through in our e-course Get Your Goals On, is we start dialing in those numbers, what it would take, because it's one thing to start setting goals, but it's another thing to actually start achieving them. Because a lot of people, if they don't have a foresight of, exactly where they're going, if they don't have a roadmap or a plan to start taking them there, it's really hard to start actually achieving those goals. So breaking your goals down into bite-sized chunks. So every day you're taking action on those goals. Every day you're moving towards what it is that you want to create in your life. This is going to keep you on track. This is going to keep you moving forward towards the life that you really want to live, right? Yeah. So simply building a business online to create more freedom is that you're now able to work anywhere, on your business from any laptop connection, which is really cool. Yeah. I say laptop, I mean Wi-Fi connection. So that's pretty cool. And there's all sorts of really cool niches and stuff that you could get into with business ideas and stuff. Yeah. What other questions do we have this week? So the next one is from Kat Serta. She says, how can adventurous moms make travel happen and make money? My passion is travel, but I haven't gone anywhere. That's actually a really great question. We bump into a lot of parents who are like, oh, I love what you guys do, the traveling and this online business thing, but I've got kids, so I really don't see it being feasible, especially with youngsters. The cool thing that we found along our travel is we bump into a lot of parents who are doing online business, who've been doing it for a while, that take their kids with them. So it actually is a really feasible thing.
something that we're finding and seeing kind of as a common theme is these families build a business around family. Mm-hmm. That's their brand. Their focal point is, being a family that travels with their kids. So whether they're sharing tips and tricks on how to be better parents, whether they're sharing tips and tricks on how to live abroad, people are doing it and they're making it happen. Yeah, so you could offer like affiliate products. You could create e-courses and just share your knowledge or wisdom. Maybe you do homeschooling and you want to give people the inside scoop on homeschooling and travel. There's some really cool business models. Definitely reach out to us if that's something that you want to brainstorm or bounce ideas off of us. That's why we created the exclusive tribe for entrepreneurs, so that we could get your questions answered and help you start putting those ideas together, right?
Absolutely. So if your passion is travel, think about the things that you have interest in and the things that you have expertise in, and experience in, because whenever you put those ideas together, then you can start doing searches online to figure out what other people are actually searching for in those topics. And with that, you can see, what products and services are being currently offered there by just doing Google searches and stuff. So you can get a lot of insight there. Yes. And, at some point you're going to be like, oh my gosh, my income from my simple business online is taking over my daytime job. And I now have choices, do I want to continue having a job, or do I want to, earn an independent living, which is pretty cool, because that allows you to have more choices in life, because I think that's what life is about, is more about the choices and more about being able to say what it is that you're going to do in your life, and not necessarily live by someone else's idea of how you should live and how you should be living. Because let's face it, like, are we creatures that were created to be a slave to a job? Or are we creatures that like to migrate around and maybe go experience really cool things, like Kat here being a mom who wants to travel and make money, while traveling or whatever. That is a huge opportunity for those kids to be able to give them a global education, being able to give them the ability to like learn really cool languages along the way, be experienced to a lot of different cultures and cuisines. And like me growing up, I grew up, traveling all through Germany and Europe and everything. And I could say that, being well-rounded like that makes me not want to stay buckled down to a job, which is why in April of 2017, I quit the fire department, no longer work there in Austin, Texas, did it for 9 years. And I was just like, you know what? Traveling around is exactly what is going to like help fulfill my soul. Do I want to do it forever? Probably not travel full-time forever. No. Maybe have a home base at some point, but it's the idea that you've got the choice to make a decision to start something, and creating a business online. It's easy to get it launched, but staying in it is the hardest part for most people, because you can create a website in a day. I can create a website now, like in a couple hours, just because I've done so many of them. But you don't have to code though. The hardest part is staying in the game when you're building up the momentum and building up the audience, because it's the people that you're helping that is going to make a huge impact on what you're creating. Right?
Yeah. The staying power is definitely one of the biggest things. And we could talk for hours about that, but just being committed. I think that that's like the number one key to starting anything, but starting an online business specifically that is going to give you the freedom in your life that you want. You're not starting a business as a hobby. You know, if you start a business, you want to be sure that this is where you want to focus, because that's what's going to create the freedom in your life that you're really looking for. So
that's really cool.
So we got Chris up next.
So this is from the blog, it looks like.
I think this is from the blog, yeah. So he says, this is the sort of
thing that I'm working on. My love's in another country and we are working to be together. It seems like in order to be together, we have to go travel or travel because of visa requirements. Yeah. It's inspiring to see how you two are able to figure this out.
Sorry, the writing is really small in that one. We're not wearing our glasses.
Here, I'll fix that.
There we go. Okay, so this isn't really a question, but
it's more of a statement, but
yeah. So I guess he's kind of looking for maybe a little bit of advice on this one.
So Chris, it looks like Chris and his love live in 2 different countries. Yeah. This is exactly how we got started. Aaron was living in Toronto, and I was living in Austin, Texas. And we met on Facebook in a really cool community. There was like over 17,000 people in there. And I would be sitting there at the fire station. I'd have my phone and I'm sitting there answering people's questions about WordPress and, you know, how to put menus up and how to set, you know, style pages and stuff by moving the images around. You know, just super simple stuff. Like none of it was coding, or, I mean, it doesn't require coding anymore to get your business up. And so like, that's how we came together. Was she was asking questions in that group and I was at the fire station one day answering those questions. So, you know, that's when we met. Then we later met in person in London. So this just goes to show that, you know, whenever you are in love with someone else or have a relationship that's super long distance, cross-border maybe, the visas is normally what prevents you from being able to spend enough time together in each other's countries because of, you know, how long your tourist visa is and all that.
Yeah. And for us, like once we decided like, hey, we're really into each other. Hey, we both have individual businesses. And when we decided to come together and make this Be Adventure Partners, baby, that's when things were like, oh, we can't really do this online anymore. We were literally on Zoom calls throughout the night, late at night, you know, working on our business, or we were doing stuff like this, but, you know, streaming between this, this platform called Zoom or Google Hangouts, like, and trying to have both of us on a Facebook Live at that time. And it was just kind of hard. And we were like, you know what, if we want to really be together, like we can be in the US sometimes, we can be in Canada sometimes, but that was actually the beauty of having a business online, was it made it flexible for us. So we could start traveling with it. We could be together and, you know, really start building this thing. So Chris, that might be an option for you guys. I don't know. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to us because we'd love to answer them. But that's how we got started with it. And yeah, it really worked for us. I think that if you're going into business with your adventure partner, gosh, you better really love each other because it's, you know, it's a commitment. Just like marriage, we've got more paperwork than any marriage ever has between the two of us, but we both have this vision. We're both on this mission. We have a deep, beautiful love for each other. So you just want to make sure that you're both on board with the goal, the vision. You both have a deep love for one another so that you can stay focused and you can really start creating what you want together.
Yeah. And your last line here, it's inspiring to see how you two were able to figure this out. Man, it was tough trying to figure it out at first because we didn't even know where to start first. And so that's where goal setting came into play. So I would recommend checking out Get Your Goals On, the e-course. Because that really connects the dots for what it is that you want to accomplish. So if you know what you want to accomplish, so like in this case, you've got a goal to be able to spend more time with your love and the country thing is the problem. So you need to travel full time. Well, that is the same problem we were up against. Yeah. So Get Your Goals On is going to help connect the dots with how to set the goals so that they're achievable, so that you can actually do them and make them happen. Because a goal without a plan is just a dream that will never come true. So how, like, people are like, oh, you know, I'd love to make my dreams come true. Cool. Well, make them come true. It's the actions that you take that allow them to be to come through true, right? So if you do something that makes them come true, you're now an action taker, and only action takers are the ones who are able to create something in their life that's meaningful to themselves, to their relationship, and then also to others around them. So if you need a step-by-step approach, check out the goal setting guide. Check out Get Your Goals On, because it's going to help connect those dots for you. Yep, that's for sure. We can leave some links in the comments for that. Yeah, okay. We'll put it in the description below for sure. That's right. Okay, so Ingrid, this is our friend from Ireland. It looks like this is from the blog. She said, funny enough, Brian and Aaron, these are the questions I'm asking myself this last while. First question, she said, who must I become to create the life I desire to live? So these are just a few questions from the blog post that she was reading. So this is interesting. Who must I become to create the life I want to live? A lot of times when we're trying to move forward in our life, and we've got this idea, this vision to be a better person, to be better in our romantic relationships, to be better in friendships, business partnerships, or even in the business that we're creating, things come up. You know, there's things that get in our way that keep us from creating what it is that we really want to achieve. So there's a time where we have to take some introspective, and we need to just look within and say, okay, what are these things that are holding me back? And when it comes to who must I become to start creating what I want to live, there's some shifts and changes that need to happen within us. So whether that is, you know, stop watching so much TV, you know, put the remote down and really just like invest your time in learning some new skills to create that business. Or if it is, you know, some personal goals, like you want to lose weight, or you want to get more toned, or you just want to eat more healthy, there's going to be some new things you want to learn, like maybe some nutrition, or maybe you commit to drinking more water or a daily workout routine, or maybe it's in your relationship where you want to become better. You want to spend more time together, but you're always busy doing other things, or maybe you just don't set that time aside to be a lover, to be together and really enjoy one another's company. So there's always a shift that needs to happen to become that person that you really want to be. And it's just about making decisions. Make a decision on what it is that you want, and then make a decision on how you're going to commit each day to really making that happen. So that's something that we cover in Get Your Goals On, our e-course, Get Your Goals On, where you're just going to discover, you're going to tap in to what it is that you want and where it is that you want to go. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So Ingrid has 4 questions here that she put. Question number 2 is, what must I invest to gain the knowledge to create that life? So that's a wide open question, because it really depends on what it is that you're wanting to build online. An online business is very modular, and you can put a lot of different components together to achieve a lot of very specific things. If you are going the digital product route, you don't need the platforms that deliver physical goods. So that's just to kind of give you a broad example of what do you need to invest in. The roadmap actually walks you through different ideas and creating a business online because it is so modular. So if you but let's look at the broad spectrum. Business online, the bare bones business, you need a website with a blog.
Yep.
And you need a social media business page of some kind, be it Facebook business page, be it your YouTube branded channel. And you're building business on these branded channels, not your personal profiles or anything like that, because you can't do more advanced things like doing ads and retargeting and some really cool stuff that you can do there, so that you always stay in front of your audience. But at the bare minimum, you need a website with a blog, and then you also need a free social media business page of some kind. Yep. With those two things, you can literally start any type of business online. Anything past that is modular. So let's give a couple examples of what the modular could be. Yeah. Let's say that you're a life coach of some kind. Maybe you're someone who can promote health and well-being of the mental state. Yep. Things like that, where you would get on a phone call, or you would go into an office and someone would meet you and you would talk to them for an hour or whatever. Yep. Well, you can do that online using things like Zoom. Zoom is a platform that you can use. There's a free account that you can have to do video conferencing. On top of that, you may want to have like a scheduler installed. And so, how whenever you're trying to schedule clients in, and you play this email back and forth game where you're just like, hey, these are the times that I'm available. Do any of these times work for you? And then they email back, oh no, I'm busy during those times. What about these times? And you just got this vicious back and forth game. Yeah. So to step up your game and to be more professional, we found a really cool scheduler that you can actually put on your website. And so whenever you have clients come to you and say, oh, I would love to schedule an appointment, you give them the link to your calendar page, like your contact page or whatever on your website. And you say, awesome, find a time that works best for you. Yep. So what you do is you program in, and I say program loosely, you go to your admin side of the calendar and you plug in what days that you're available and what times, and they can then go and see on the client side when you're available based on those times. So that would be an idea for that. What else you got?
So there's the online aspect where there's not a lot of cost or overhead depending on what you're doing. If everything you do is digital and online. Like for us, we have e-courses. So we have a platform that we're invested in where we host all of our e-courses. So that could be a cost for your business.
And it's a membership site?
And it's a membership site. So we have members that come on. So that could definitely be something in the online realm. Now, if your business is part online, part offline, and you're providing services like, say you're a massage therapist, well, then you're going to have, massage oils and candles and probably products and stuff that you sell or you offer, and then also products that you're using for your service. So those are the kind of things to consider. And there's so many different types of businesses. As soon as there are physical products involved, you're going to need to factor that in. Another thing that we factor into our business is always education. Brian and I like to stay current and up to date. So whether that is learning how to use YouTube or how to get better with Facebook, or whether that is improving our writing skills, we like to go to conferences. We like to go to workshops. We like to host them. So really,
we invest in e-courses to learn those things.
Yeah. So really think down to the bare bones. What's this business going to need to run? What are the different moving parts and components? What am I offering people? And what are the different things that I need to distribute my business or get my business idea out there? We can help you with that, definitely, in the exclusive tribe, just to break down your idea and really say, okay, what are the moving parts here? Do I need a scheduler? Do I need an e-course platform where I have members come on? Or maybe you want to have some kind of affiliate program for a product that you're producing. Or maybe you are doing a t-shirt company and you're going to get involved in drop shipping. So there's a few moving parts. The cool thing, this is the really cool thing about an online business, especially if it's exclusively online, is you don't have to worry about the overhead of a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
A brick and mortar is going to cost you a lot more money. Well, brick and mortars are beautiful and we love to support little boutiques and restaurants and mom and pop shops. They're a little bit more pricey because you have to maintain them. When you first set them up, you need to think about renovations and making it like really have that vibe of the space that you want to create for people to step into. So the cool thing about the online space and why we've chose to be strictly online at this point is because we can travel around with
flexibility.
It gives you a lot of flexibility, and not having to warehouse products and stuff like that. So with our t-shirts, that's strictly drop shipping. So people can go onto our website, order a t-shirt. We never touch the t-shirt. The t-shirt is ordered online. We've got a company that fulfills that order, and then we run it through Shopify, and Shopify sends out the order to them. Or roughly. That's not exactly how it is, but it's really simple like that. So
yeah, and because you're here, if you want to get one of our t-shirts, we'll give you a discount code. Yep. Use BEAP20, BEAP for Be Adventure Partners, and then 20 all together at checkout, and you'll get 20% off your entire order. So that's go to store.beadventurepartners.com and you can check that out. Question 3 and 4, we're going to kind of group these in together. Question 3 that Ingrid had is, when is the right time to begin, and how must I get it into action and implement what I am learning? When is the right time? There is never the right time to begin. And the reason why I say that is because families think about, when my kids get a little older, then, I'm not having to take care of them as much because they're going to be more independent. I was a child once, and that was not the case. They had more time once I left, whenever I was like 17 years old to go to university. So the right time to begin is the moment that you have the idea that you want to start something. Now you might think, but I don't have, 20 hours a week or 30 hours a week or, 10 hours a week or whatever to begin something. But you do have some time during the week. You do have an hour. You do have 2 hours. And the reason why I know this is because if you hold yourself accountable by, go a full week and write down exactly what you do every single day, and write down the time that you did all those things. You're going to find holes in your schedule where you were either not making the best use of your time. Like, let's say you sat down to watch a couple TV shows in a row. Well, that's probably not the best use of your time if you're wanting to create a business online, because when it comes down to it, those TV shows don't really matter when it comes to building something that would give you a ton of time to go take your kids somewhere, take your love somewhere. So it's never the right time to start. And the best time is as soon as you have that idea. Or maybe you're scroll holing. This is something a lot of people do. I know we're guilty for it. We have been guilty, way less guilty for it now. But when I started my business, I would get up and I would just turn on my phone right away. And I would just start going through the Facebook feed, thumbs up in, commenting, seeing, did anybody thumbs up my photo or whatever? And a lot of times I was like not getting out of bed for about an hour because I was just going through the feed on Facebook. This is the really wild part. If you have enough time to go through the scroll hole and run through your news feed, then you have time to build an online business. You're already there. The technology is in your hand. What if you were to write a post that could help somebody? What if you took that time to just type out a blog post? You could write a blog post in an hour. You could even post that blog post to Facebook within an hour and share that and start building an audience. Or what if you got up and you went live and you just shared with people,
some kind of tip or trick to start their day better. Like there's so many things that you can do that we can do with this technology that we have in our hands. So it's really just a point of reallocating that time. Where are you going to spend your precious time? If you can just move your time, we all have 24 hours in a day. How are you going to choose to spend that time? When we're first getting started in a business, yes, it's going to take you a little bit longer. And yes, it is going to be extra time on top of, say, that career that you already have. Maybe you're already working a full-time job, but when you get home, you make that decision instead of, yeah, you're tired, but what if instead of watching TV, you go watch a training video that's going to teach you how to be better with your business? That's exactly what I did when I got started in my business. And I know that's what Brian did. And every other successful online entrepreneur that we know, that we've learned from, these guys are making 6, 7, 8-figure businesses, 9-figure businesses, even some of them. And at one point, they had to make the decision to just slug it out for a little while. And the cool thing is, you might not be slugging it out for very long until you get that ball rolling. You start seeing some momentum happening in your business where, what we were talking about before, if you can calculate that freedom number, what's that number that would set you free? Maybe it's just a little bit more than you're making at your job. And then you can retire your job. And now you can put all of your eggs into the entrepreneur basket and really run with it. That's a really cool thing because now you're free. Now you really have control over your schedule. And what if it was like us? Like it only took us 10 months once we started working together till we could say, okay, it's time to run with this thing. So think about that. Think about where you want to prioritize your time. Where do you want to put your effort in? Because that is going to make a world of difference when it comes to really releasing yourself and building a life that you want to have.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful. So that brings us to the last half of that question, was getting into action and implementing what you're learning along the way. A lot of times people feel lost when they get started because they're not sure really what to do. The Be a Venture Partners roadmap actually walks you through setting up a simple business online that you're actually absolutely going to love. And I think that's probably one of the most important things is loving what it is that you do. If you're not in love with your life, and if you're dreading Mondays and you're, living for Saturdays and Sundays, then there's got to be something that you can change about that so that you actually love your life. And so how do you implement it? Step by step. It all builds upon itself. You may not know what you need to do yet, which is why we created the exclusive Tribe for Entrepreneurs membership, so that you can get your questions answered. Very specific business questions where we dive in and do screen shares and help you out. And you also get access to all the e-courses that walk along. So you've got to take action on a daily basis. You've got to put your best foot forward. You've got to keep on creating. As I think Zig Ziglar says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great.
Love that quote.
I love that one too. So what else we got?
So we've got one more question from Tim and Ella. This is a cool question and really specific to what they're doing, which I love. Says, we already have little businesses, but aren't online yet. Tim is a photographer and I am a wedding planner. We want to merge our skills together. Any pointers? That is super cool, super complimentary. If Tim's already a photographer, you're already a wedding planner, you've probably discussed how you could start creating packages where you come in as a dynamic duo, or maybe you want to build an entire wedding planning team. And maybe you already have that set up. I'm not totally sure because we haven't got to talk to you guys yet. But maybe you already have people who are, caterers, and you've already got people who come in and set things up and all of that. So this is definitely a feasible idea. You could certainly merge those ideas together. A good launching point would be to get your blog on, get a website up, start teaching people or letting people know, what your services are, what you offer. Having a website is definitely going to do that. And then some kind of social media platform where you can get out there and just share with the world what you're doing, why they would need your services. And if it's more of like a local thing you guys want to start with, you can get very targeted using social media, Facebook ads specifically to promote what you offer in your local community.
Yeah. So let's actually, because this is such a great question, and we love helping couples like bring their ideas together and build one really awesome business together so they could be in the tribe together, focusing and pushing one cart down the track at a time. So let's break down the whole wedding planner and photography sort of aspect of it. So from what I know, wedding planners, what they do is they bring together all the different trades, all the different, like if you need a videographer, a photographer, you need catering, you need chairs, you need silverware sets and flowers and all of that. So how you bring all of that together is start building a team after you've come up with the idea for what you want to call this business together. Create the website like Erin just said. And then create your social media business pages where you'll promote, tips and tricks on, how to have a stress-free wedding where, everybody's actually happy at the end and no one's pissed off. Because one thing that I've heard is that there's always these like bridezillas are the names for them. And then like, I don't know, the grooms are normally just so chill. They're just all like, whatever.
But a wedding can be really stressful. I think if you're putting on this huge event and then, one partner's kind of, really into it and the other one's like, I just want to get married.
So the wedding planner idea is that you strive and you make it an experience that they don't have to worry about. So it's worry-free, stress-free. All the details are already going to be thought out for you and you can have your input or whatever. But there's no reason for people to get pissed off about stuff because it's literally like, is this stuff going to be set up properly? So how do you bring together those trades? Well, you've got the deal where you're saying, hey, I'm going to pull this all together. Tim has his team of his photographers because you're probably going to have more than one gun on a wedding, shooting a gun being the camera. You're going to shoot pictures. That's kind of a photography sort of lingo
inside
there.
Joke.
Inside photography joke. And so Tim will have his team, but hey, maybe Tim also branches out and does videography and hires on a couple of videographers to do some video shoots as well. So like you can have all sorts of different packages that are put together depending on what the people are wanting. And that is how you can bring it all together. And it's super, super cool. People can pay online. You don't have to, wait for someone to cut you a check. There's so many ways that you can get this set up and set packages, like pre-made packages up online that they can have like, 3 choices of all different aspects of it, but they're set packages that someone can click on, click buy, and then that starts the conversation.
Or they could even, click on a button and go for some kind of consultation with you. Like the cool thing about online is you can really have systems set up for you that sift and sort through people. So maybe you're already asking questions that filter people through. So maybe they have ideas about their wedding, or maybe they don't have ideas about their wedding. You can ask really specific questions to kind of see how far through the process they are. And then you could have a consultation, and then you could offer different packages for whatever it is that they need in person, over a Zoom call, whatever. There's so many cool things that you could offer so that people are actually stress-free and still happy enough and still in love enough after the whole wedding planning process to still get married by their wedding day, right?
That is so funny. Still in love enough.
Still in love enough. Man, I've heard so many stories about people breaking up because weddings are stressful. So this is a super cool idea. really beautiful that you want to do it together, because it's way more fun to do it together than to do it alone.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So that's it for questions today. If anybody has questions, leave them in the comments.
We're going to be answering questions every single week live. So it's either going to be live or we'll post a video. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, expect a video or a live at around 11:30 Eastern. We're going to be scheduling stuff out. We're going to be showing up. So if you show up live on our lives, we'll have it, the notice posted probably an hour or 30 minutes or so before we actually go live on one of those days. Most likely it's going to be Fridays that we do lives. But yeah, expect Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so that you're notified every single time that we post a video that will help you in your life, in your relationship, in your business online, so that you can get to where you want to be, where you know you should be in your life, and experience what life is really meant for. Escape that box that society tries to keep you in. And, we're proof that it can happen, for a firefighter who was a firefighter for nearly 9 years and a hairstylist who's a hairstylist for nearly 11 years were able to do it. So can you.
That's right. Yeah, we believe everybody who is willing to put in the time and effort to become better in themselves, their relationship, and then put that effort into building something that could really set you free. If you're willing to put the time in, we are so happy to work with you and share our knowledge, what we've learned along the way that allowed us to do it.
So in the description, there's all sorts of cool links that are going to help connect the dots for you, including the BEAP Road Map and getting access to the exclusive tribe. We'd love to have you in there, and it'd be a super fun time with you and your love there too.
That's right. So until next time, friends.
Adventure on.
Adventure on. Thanks, everybody.
Ciao, ciao.
Cool.